Hello and welcome back to the Fasting Focus Lifestyle Podcast. This week, as you can see, we have another fantastic fasting spotlight of a friend of mine / sorority sisters that I've known for quite a while now. And she reached out to me and I feel the goosebumps now because I was just so struck in awe and like emotionally by her story and how she shared. So I want to make sure she gets an opportunity to share her story because I feel there's a lot of elements of it that a lot of you can also resonate with too. So it's going to be an amazing episode. Stay tuned.
Fargo, the new virtual assistant from Wells Fargo, makes banking faster and easier. Like this.
Fargo, what's my checking account routing number?
And this.
Fargo, turn off my debit card.
And this.
Fargo, what did I spend on groceries last month?
And that's just the beginning. Do you, Fargo? You can in the Wells Fargo mobile app. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/getfargo.
Terms and conditions apply. Your mobile carrier's availability and message and data rates may apply. Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.
Welcome to the Fasting Focus Lifestyle Podcast, where each week I will be discussing all things fasting and how it can become the most valuable tool in your personal toolkit so that you can live a long, healthy, and meaningful life. I'm your host, Vicki Sharon, and thank you for joining me. All right, so we now have Miss Aubrey. Aubrey, I'm so excited. And honestly, like first off, before we really get into it, I keep getting waves of goosebumps. I am so honored and humbled that you reached out when you did. Like, what was it, like just a few days ago? It wasn't even that long ago.
It was.
Sent me the message. And I get these messages, and y'all, if you're one of the folks that send me this message, please don't know that it fills me up and makes me so happy and excited for you. I love getting these messages like I got from Aubrey, where she said, "Thank you again so much, Vicki. I've been plugging along. I've been following, taking my life by the reins and seeing and reading and understanding and really just applying it to my life." Goosebumps again. Applying it to my life to make those massive, massive life changes, because it's possible. Like, we have to have that sense of ownership and accountability, responsibility for our own health. And Aubrey's a fantastic shining example of that. So Aubrey, I'm going to give you first a big virtual hug and a big welcome. Thank you so much for coming onto this podcast episode.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here. Let me just start a little bit about myself.
Absolutely.
So I am now in my 30s, and let's just start off of when I was in high school. Mm-hmm. So when I was in high school, I always disliked my body. I hated waking up and looking in the mirror and just seeing a big, ginormous me. Now, some people in high school, they would have said, they said, "No, Aubrey, you're not fat at all. No. Yep. But they could tell me until they're blue in the face. I didn't believe it. Mm-hmm. I did not feel comfortable in my own body, and it stunk. Yep. And in high school, I was like, just like you, Vicki, I am a hardcore empath, like hardcore. Yep. So I would be attracted to the people who needed my help. Yep. And I would always be the first one there to help them out. And I was always go, 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 energy, energy, energy. I was a cheerleader. And, it may sound selfish, but making other people happy was the only way that I could feel happy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I definitely was a people pleaser as well. Yep.
Oh, yes. And then it just it struck really hard, because then in college, it was like a culture shock for me. Mm-hmm. I didn't know who I was. I was trying to figure everything out. I still wasn't comfortable in my body, but I tried rugby, and then I slimmed out a little bit, but no matter what I did, the weight would always come back on, and I could never stop from coming back on once I lost it. Mm-hmm. And so there was a point where I just kind of gave up. Yep. I was just like, you know what? I guess this is who I am. Yep. Whatever. I guess I'll just live with it. But then once I graduated college and I really started to work and everything, that's when I went from this really high energetic person to just being really, really low. Mm-hmm. Very, very depressed. I didn't want to do anything. stress was really, really hard on me to the point where I actually passed out because of my stress, and it was irritating my body.
Yep.
And I noticed that if I was a little bit stressed, that's when I would emotionally eat.
Yep.
But then if I was stressed out so much, couldn't eat a thing. Wasn't hungry at all.
Yep.
But then I had children.
Yeah.
With my first child, I ended up gaining so much weight. Like I kind of used my pregnancy as an excuse to eat as much as I wanted. And like, then once I had my first child, my body didn't go back to the way it was. And I was so upset at myself for that. And like postpartum was just really, really difficult for me. And my body didn't help that at all.
Right.
But then once I had my second child, my body was totally different. Like with my first child, I could eat and eat and eat and eat. But my second child, I lost weight because I just wasn't hungry at all. And I was going through the motions and everything. And then once I had her, my body kind of just like went back to itself, but it was still like heavier, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't like that. But then, so fasting, I didn't go to fasting. Fasting kind of found me.
That's awesome.
Which I'm very lucky about.
Yeah.
So last November, I actually had surgery on my foot, and I had to keep my foot elevated for like 6 weeks. I had to be out of work. But then my children got really sick. They got COVID. They got the stomach bug. Everything under the sun. So since I was home, I had to take care of my children nonstop.
Yep.
And I couldn't be like, I shouldn't have been on my feet, but I had to.
Right.
I have 2 children under 2.
No choice.
Exactly. No choice. So I would just like work and work and work and work. And I didn't have any time to eat. Yep. I wasn't hungry. I couldn't eat until dinner. And I did that so often during those 6 weeks that just became the norm for me.
Yep.
I'm still on an OMAD.
Yep. So
like, it just became the norm.
Right.
And right now I'm on a plateau. I went from 180 postpartum all the way down to 120, 130. I'm like fluctuating there.
Right. And how tall are you?
That's my plateau right now. I'm 5 feet.
Okay, just checking.
Why?
No, because I was just curious. My brain goes to like body mass index kind of calculations of like, okay, the height to weight kind of ratio and just like the spectrums of like this is normal, and like my at 5'11", my normal is at the high end of normal right now, which is totally fine because I don't aim to be like even middle at low or low, because if I were to aim for middle or low for my body mass index rating, it would be somewhere between like 150 and like 130, which is like, that would be skin and bones on me. And for me, I like staying at the higher range of the normal within the body mass index, which is great.
And I would really like to get down to 115, but I know right now that's just not possible for me. I know that I will get there. Just right now is just not the time for me. I'm not ready to go there. I know that I will be ready, just not right now.
Cool. Very awesome. Well, with their kind of coming into fasting, that the way that you did, I think is really interesting. And did you have this connection point where coming into fasting and putting the pieces together of like, wow, things are changing in my body? I'm curious to know why. Did it spark a kind of sense of exploration and kind of discovery within you of what you wanted to learn more about this journey?
Yes, it did. Because it got to the point where I was like, why am I going to eat if I'm not hungry?
Yeah.
Why am I going to fuel my body if my body doesn't need fuel? As you always say, snack on your body.
Yep.
Tell your body, have your snack.
That's right.
And that's like what keeps me motivated throughout the day.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. Do you feel like along this journey, things have, because of the way that you came into this lifestyle, do you feel like you're able to pacify like any feelings of like boredom, or like I've had before, like the mindless eating, snacking binges and stuff? Do you feel like it's been a little bit more controllable than if you were to approach fasting as like never experienced it before?
I'll tell you what, it's
Yeah.
very approachable for me because I have 2 children.
Yep.
I never have the time to just sit around and
Yep.
do nothing. I'm always on the move.
That's
So I think
fantastic.
my children kind of blessed me with
Oh,
my body and how it's changing.
yeah.
And I couldn't be happier.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. So do you want to talk about the measurement results that you've achieved so far in your journey?
Sure. So when I was after I had my second child, I was a size 12 and I was like, all right, well, it is what it is. But then as I started OMADs, just eating dinner,
Yep.
then I was an 8 for like a few weeks. Then I was a 6. And I'm like, holy cow, like I don't have enough money to buy all these jeans. My goodness. And so now I'm at a size 4, which
Yeah.
I'm comfortable right now.
Yep.
I'm good where I am, but I could go further. I'm just not ready to yet, but I will.
Gotcha. That's so awesome. That's so awesome. One of the other things I want to touch on that you addressed in your messages back and forth, if you feel comfortable discussing it further, is the issues with, I don't mean to phrase it as issues, but your experience with having emotional things with bipolar and having that be a component that maybe unintentionally is addressed or assisted or influenced positively by this dedicated fasting efforts throughout your journey.
Definitely. I feel once I got diagnosed, I was like, why me? Why me?
Yep.
But I feel that fasting was able for me to realize that I have control
Yes.
over this.
Yep.
I'm not going to let it run me.
Yep.
I'm going to tell it what to do.
Yeah.
And that gives me the power for everything I need.
Yep. Yep. That's incredible. I know further along that you get in this journey, obviously things become easier. And I keep reverting back and thinking and really empathizing, putting myself in your shoes and reflecting if I were, thinking about, oh, well, if my journey was the way that you came into fasting and just like realizing, oh, my busy lifestyle just affords me the mindset and habit to just stumble into this way of life. And consequently, it'll help me shed weight in the meantime as well. If this kind of rippling effect had other benefits to other parts of your life, like did you notice any other bodily changes like hair? I keep getting people asking me so much because it is so common in the ketogenic diet culture way of life. And I did ketogenic before, and my stylist, side note, if she listens, I don't know if she does or whatever, but my hair used to come out in clumps. Granted, it was much longer, probably close to your length, like shoulder length. And it would just be so like, it would come out so much. And now with fasting, because of what happens to a physiological level in the body, my hair and nails like grow so quickly, so fast. Do you have any similar experiences like that, or other body sensation or physiological changes as a result of this?
Well, for me, it was hard to determine because I was also pregnant at the time. And like, I was still experiencing postpartum changes, but my nails always grew fast. My hair always grows fast. So there was never really any changes that I noticed when it deals to that.
Gotcha. That's understandable. What has been your biggest and most meaningful takeaway from realization, connection, and implementation of this lifestyle for you?
For me, I just have more energy.
Mm-hmm.
I have energy at work, which I work with preschoolers, so I need a lot of energy for that. And then when I come home, I need energy with my children. Mm-hmm. And so I'm just always on the move. And now since fasting, I have the energy to do it all. Yep. And I love it. I wouldn't change it for the world.
Oh, that's so fantastic. Have you shared your experience or result with anybody else besides messaging and conversing with me about the results that you experienced? And now, obviously, my podcast episode, no family or friends or anything?
Not really, no. Like my parents know, like they've seen me eat. They know I only eat 1 meal a day, but my mom is kind of went to fasting through her life. And I know in one of the pictures, there's me in my wedding dress, and I just want people to see the difference between my size and my mom's size.
Yeah.
And she's just like a little twig.
Yeah.
But she does the same thing that I do, only eats when she's hungry.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
There's
it.
something really beautiful and restorative within the body, because listening to those hunger cues of when we're actually truly, truly hungry can really help to repair and fix the broken mindset of spinning, verbiage in your mind of like, oh, I'm having this really hard time. Oh, if you were like me who sought out like, the worst fast food or snack foods or whatever when, you got into your own head sort of thing. So pulling yourself out of thinking that that is the only option for you in those choices is incredibly powerful, not just in a mindset sense, but in a body, overall body health and wellness sense, because it, long term, and I talk to folks about this a lot, and I keep thinking and reflecting on my time previously as an Ideal Protein coach for that program and what the long-term lessons are being taught, learned, absorbed. And again, my teachery mind, so I can't ever shake that off. Shout out Plymouth State. Woo. But it's thinking and remembering what your actions, thoughts, and behaviors are. Goosebumps. What your actions, thoughts, and behaviors are in this moment will affect your future trajectory and like your future results and adherence to the lifestyle. And somebody would say like, oh well, yeah, duh, but truly in a sense of like, if you are letting yourself give in to urges, give in to those hunger pangs, which as you probably know now it's a learned behavior, it's a habit, your body loves the habitual pattern. And if we decide consciously, just like you were just talking about, if we decide I'm not going to give into that habit, I'm not going to give into this pang, this urge, you identify it. Absolutely. When it comes up, you have to identify it or else it'll get stronger and like it'll knock you out further. But identifying when the hunger pangs and behavior trigger little flare-ups come and say, nope, not going to do that. Like, as you're saying, finding ways to keep yourself busy mentally, emotionally, physically are fantastic helpers. To kind of add on to that, one of the things that I have told a lot of my fasters is that when you have those racing thoughts and minds, if your mind is moving, it's because your body is not. And racing mind, it means your body is still. So, there's so much science and data and studies, like I could throw them on this episode. I probably will, because that's the type of nerd I am. And I think we're the same because you showed me your show notes, but like the science behind the body being in physical motion, being able to have that as a focus at the time, to not to say that you're just like shoving it away to deal with later, but it almost makes it like, okay, well, it's not as bad, the thoughts that are spinning into my mind and the verbiage of like, oh, I'm not good enough, or, oh, I really shouldn't do this. Or like, when we're just sitting and sometimes just space out and your mind goes, like downward spiral.
That was me.
Yep. And that's the time where you get up, even if it's just for a moment. Like I have my little vibration plate over here I've talked about before, and just like getting up, moving around 10, 20 minutes and just like having that be your shaking the towel off, getting the sand all off the beach towel, shaking it off, just to recalibrate. And, sometimes even walk outside, take a look outside, take your dog for a walk, just be outside if you can, and just change your environment. That's a big, big part of all this. And it can be extremely challenging and difficult in the beginning. But as you've seen, like coming into this lifestyle and with the understanding of like, I'm going to do this, I'm deciding to do it, and just coming into it are actually more similar than many people would realize, because it's still that willingness to adhere to that lifestyle and how things, if you have that decision, I'm going to listen to my body, I'm going to, give into those hunger cues when I'm getting the proper signs and signals from them, instead of pacifying hard feelings, giving into thoughts, feelings, and emotions, and letting yourself go by the wayside.
And what also helps me is just like, and I'm still practicing this, is being very mindful and trying to live in the moment and appreciate it for what it is.
Yep.
Because even if it's not what I imagined, it's not going to last forever.
Yep.
It's not going to last forever. Just let the feelings come and go, just like the ocean.
Yep. Those waves of thoughts and feelings, letting them come in, appreciating them, whether they're fantastic or whether they're meh or horrible, and knowing that these ebbs and flows, the rise and tides of our lives are always going to come. That's like, there's never any wall that we can, hypothetically put up in our mind. And we have to learn. Yeah. Oh yeah. But honestly, think about it. I challenge you now to think about that in a reversal kind of reflective sense. If we had absolutely no problems, everything was super easy, everything went our way, man,
So boring.
how fucking boring that would be? That is so boring. Like, I think about that and that's like, that sounds so boring. I don't want that. So yeah, like the struggles may suck at times, but I'm thankful for them because, as I've said, there's always a lesson. There's always a hidden lesson to be learned in each challenges. Ooh, there's the goosebumps again.
And you know what? I say bring on the challenges.
Yes, because they make you stronger. They make you stronger.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's like, do you do a lot of reading and enrichment kind of, obviously you made a good choice in listening to my podcast, but like different audio books and stuff. Do you listen to any of those?
Honestly, I don't have the time. I wish I did.
Gotcha. I totally understand.
8 o'clock, I am out.
Yep. I'm going to mention it for anybody else that's listening. And even if like in bits and blurbs, you're welcome. I would highly encourage to check out my favorite go-to book. If you've heard me mention it before, very early, shortly after becoming a widow, one of the books that I found on audio and then eventually bought the physical version afterwards. I love The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck by Mark Manson. I am obsessed with that. In my first year of widowhood, I probably listened to it 1 to 2 times a month through its entirety, just to really help me get out of my own head. Yes, I was still doing fasting. Yes, I was still all this stuff, but I needed that additional raw, real, let's work over and let's work through these hard thoughts and feelings. And just like we were talking about before, the welcoming the problems and issues and challenges is part of every decision that we make. So when we accept or want or bring anything into our life, obviously we want the positive components from it, but we're also welcoming and accepting the challenges and, potential setbacks that can also cause. And that's for everything in your life, everything, whether people or things or it's he has these quippy, fun little sayings, and they're not coming to my mind right now, but it's we have to love and appreciate the things and the experiences that we willingly bring into our lives. And this is a part of obviously things that are going to stay with us for the rest of our life, and knowing how to mitigate those balances can really add to our overall lifelong grit, tenacity, and honestly, in a soup to nuts kind of long summarizing kind of version, it can affect the health span, our longevity. Right. Overall, if you think about it.
I just hope that I'm living the healthiest life that I can right now. Yeah. Being so active at work and at home. And it's really motivating me to do so much more than what I thought I can do. Yeah. And I love that.
It's incredibly inspiring. And like I said, I love getting messages like yours. And, I love also side note for those that listen, I love, those people that connect with me that maybe don't need a whole thorough hand holding. Whether you need just a little bit of I need just a little bit to get me started. And then I'm off to the races. And then there are those people that, do need that intensive, every week meet kind of consult with me. And every once in a while I get somebody my silent lurkers of just hey, I've been quietly plugging along and following you, but not really saying anything. All those pieces from their lives that they've shared with me add up to such a meaningful, massive reason. It's my reason why is growing bigger and bigger and bigger. And for all the testimonials that I continue to keep receiving from everybody, it's incredibly impactful. I never take it for granted because I feel like I've said, I love being this catalyst for change, and seeing the change manifest in other people gives me that, that's my fuel. That powers me up, plugs me in. Right. And really, because if you think about it in a just bare sense, that's all we want. We want to be able to live long with the ones that we love. And
Of course.
this is doing it. This is doing it. The lives are being changed in a very, very big way. And I'm okay with slow progress. I know your story and journey and that realization with coming into fasting, like being okay with not having a time clock. Hard fast, have to meet it by this deadline, stressed out kind of goal. Like that's not the path to overall health and wellness. Torturing, punishing yourself with these lists and restrictions. That's not heading on the path of like health and wellness, longevity, and all that stuff.
And like you said, fasting is flexible.
Yeah.
It's okay.
So much. Yeah.
It's flexible. You just got to make sure that you stay on the right path.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And know that
it's okay.
Go for it. You were just about to say it. Keep going. Yeah.
No, I forgot what I was going to say.
Oh, that knowing that I feel like you were going to say that if you have those hard days, and I have had many hard days.
You're reading my mind.
Yeah.
How is this happening? You're reading my mind.
I do have that spiritual connection. I do have a bit of a connection. Knowing that those hard days, they're not derailing you. It's just a learning.
Right.
I see them as learning opportunities. Don't see them as failures. See them as learning opportunities.
Oh.
What can you learn from that situation where you felt like you had a shortcoming, like you didn't feel like you had the day go to as well as you thought it could have been? What can you learn from that day to implement? Goosebumps. What can you learn from that challenge to implement to your journey in the future, so that this maybe doesn't happen, or doesn't happen as often, or doesn't happen as intensely as it did, and to keep moving forward with that. I do want to add in, before I get some more questions for you, as a side note, and not plug, not sponsored, this is just my little nerd brain. I have to shout this out because we were just talking about health and wellness and longevity. Like, I went on my phone to see if you are a fan of Blue Zones. I just saw that there is going to be a Netflix special about the Blue Zones, y'all. Like, I'm drawing a line.
No
I'm going to
way.
announce it right here, and I'm going to add more like on my social medias and stuff as well. I'm going to find out how I can do a watch party. Like, we are going to have a Blue Zone watch party. We're going to have a hangout. We're going to watch it together. Like, I'll have it on my computer, meeting room, something. I want to do that. And I think that could be incredible. If you want to see Aubrey's story, do you have it shared on any of your socials or no?
I don't, but you can put it on yours. I'll put it on mine if you want.
Absolutely. I think it's worth bragging about a bit. I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. Brag, woman, you earned this. You did this. Rocking this journey. I'm going to add in another little thing here at the end that I think your journey can really resonate with a lot of people that maybe think that fasting can't work for them or can't fit it into their lifestyle the way you just kind of came into discovering your power within this lifestyle, and figuring and realizing that it does affect more than you realize with weight and how we hold our weight and your overall bodily feelings, your thought process, and how making those changes affect you so positively with that consistent mindful practice. And I know you said that you are still working on your mindfulness. Do you do any meditation or anything?
I should, but like, I remember on your podcast, you said like meditation can really be anywhere.
Yeah.
When I'm driving by myself,
say that,
I look at everything around me and I'm just in the moment.
Yeah.
And like, that's what really helps me. Or even like, playing with my children, just like, get on the floor and, playing hide and seek with them, or playing trains and cars and everything.
That's so awesome.
Like that. But I do have one more thing to say.
Yes.
Where would I be without you? Like, seriously.
You're going to make me cry.
You? No, because like everything happens for a reason. And I believe that you were brought into my life I didn't start at first with you, but then I followed you, and like, you're the best great grandbig ever. And I love you so much. And I can't wait. Are you going to the next reunion?
I would like to. When is it? Is it next year?
No idea.
I'll check out on their website just to see when that is. But I do have plans and intentions to visit up to New England very soon, very soon. We'll see how everything continues to manifest, but I know I definitely need a trip back up to New England sometime soon. Absolutely.
We miss you. And then we gotta take another photo.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. We need an updated picture side by side. Yeah. Yeah. One last thing I want to get from you, if you could share, if anybody is on the fence about either reaching out to me to have a consult or to start this lifestyle or to get going on this lifestyle at all, what would you say to them?
I would say that I trust Vicki with all my heart and soul, and she's always there to be a support for anybody who needs support. So definitely, if you're questioning anything or unsure of how to start or where you are, definitely reach out to Vicki and she will help you out. She's the best. I love her.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm going to give you another giant big hug. Oh, I appreciate you. I appreciate you connecting with me today. This has been a blast.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure it's just the start of more to come, because I want to continue, obviously, with these spotlights on the experiences of these fasters that I connect with. But I also, because I am a product of it, and I've gone on to other podcast episodes, like shout out A Healthy Alternative, like love you, Chris James. You're a man too as well. But I want to do more people coming onto here and coming back onto this show. So if there's any future, things that have happened to your life as a result of fasting, like keep me in the loop. I know we're going to be staying in the loop,
Absolutely.
but like keep me in the loop for all this stuff, because this is the story of our lives. And I want everyone, as I've said, to have as long, healthy, and meaningful life as possible. And it's possible with implementation of this lifestyle. We're products of it, girl. Like
We can do it.
We're about
Anybody can do
it. So to wrap up and to share what I always share, I truly believe in every single one of y'all. Every single one. If you are doubting yourself today for something, know that you still can do this. I truly believe in you, even if you don't. If you are in need of supportive coaching on your journey, I'm here. I care. I walk the walk. I'm super passionate about this lifestyle, and I know you can do it. Please reach out to thefastingfocuslifestyle.com, where you can book consults. And very soon, by Friday this week, so this Friday is the 28th, I will have my official first edition of the Fasting Focus Lifestyle Handbook available for purchase. I'm super excited. This is going to be a fantastic. So honestly, but if you're listening to this already, then chances are you should be able to purchase this, because there is a slight delay in the processing. But yeah, the Fasting Focus Lifestyle Official Handbook. It's been a labor of love, and I'm super proud of this little, digital baby that I've worked on and created. And I'm sure that's going to be the first of many updates and future editions of it as well, because as I know, there's a lot to be covered and included with this. Powerful. Thank you again, Aubrey. I'm going to keep saying thank you and give you another big hug. And I hope everybody has a great rest of the day wherever you are in the world. And we'll see you next time. Thank you. If you are in need of supportive coaching on your fasting journey, I'm here. I care. I know you can do it. I've walked the walk, and I'm proud to continue to talk this talk. I'm extremely passionate about what I do because I know it works, and you can have it too. TheFastingFocusLifestyle.com has my calendar and more. And again, thank you. Until next time, take care. The Fasting Focus Lifestyle Podcast. Copyright 2023. The information given within this podcast is not intended or implied to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Please consult your doctor before starting any weight loss method. Thank you.